It's time for an Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast, and this time around we talk with Captain Tim North of the Salvation Army. Always looking forward to talking with Captain Tim about all the great things they do at the Salvation Army, including supplying the hungry in the area from the food pantry, and of course they have the Thrift Store too. So hang on for that in just a couple of moments. Hey, want to thank our newer sponsor, Wesley Life Park Center. My sister lived there for 5 years. She did pass away in early November, and they have a grief support group, which I've been attending, and they'll help you through that too if you're going through that also. But Park Center, I'll tell you what, you can pursue your joy at Park Center by offering living options across a continuum. Park Center provides vital, enriching environments for everyone, a community for healthy living focused on holistic health and well-being. Their programming enhances emotional, intellectual, and spiritual wellness and enables you to live a life that's healthier in every way. Park Center is at home in Newton, with many residents and team members having lived their best lives. Now, to learn more about Park Center's different levels of living and to find out the lifestyle that's right for you, contact Lisa Zylstra at 641-791-5000. 641-791-5000 at Park Center. I recommend Park Center highly. I'm glad that my sister lived there the last days of her life. She really got great care. I filled out some kind of form today. It was a question and answer kind of form about Wesley Life, and I couldn't have been happier. I gave them on a 1 to 10 scale, 10 and beyond, about all the care that they gave my sister. And I know she was happy there, and they did love my sister at Wesley Life Park Center, and I recommend them highly. Another great sponsor, Ryan's Tire and Auto. At Ryan's Tire and Auto, they take pride in delivering more than just tires and vehicle maintenance. They provide an unwavering commitment to great service every time. As a locally owned and operated small business, they understand the importance of building lasting relationships with their valued customers. Their team of dedicated professionals is passionate about automobiles and is committed to going the extra mile for you. They're proud to serve their community with a level of care, expertise, and dedication that only a hometown business can offer. At Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. I stopped in there this afternoon, and later on this week I'll have an oil change done by Ryan's Tire and Auto. Newton Clinic, another big sponsor. February is American Heart Month. Your heart works hard for you every day. Show it some love with small, healthy habits like staying active, eating balanced meals, and keeping up with regular checkups. Healthy heart and healthy habits start with awareness, and let me try that again. They are here to help every step of the way. Contact Newton Clinic today for a healthier heart. Eat a balanced diet. Don't use nicotine products. Stay active with both cardio and resistance training, and limit alcohol and added sugars. Newton Clinic. Be treated like family at Newton Clinic. Check out their Facebook page. Newton Clinic, give them a call today. They'd love to see you. And don't forget their newest provider, Kinsey Heiser at Newton Clinic.
Not all checking accounts are Olympic ready. Advantage Credit Union's Cha-Ching Rewards Checking is the gold standard that pays you 3% APY on balances up to $10,000. Simply do the things you're already doing at that other place and get paid up to $25 per month for it at ACU. Earn more on your everyday balance, plus no minimum balance or monthly service fees. Local money, local decisions, local service, and locally owned by you. Advantage Credit Union, where our members win every time.
APY's annual percentage yield restrictions apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
It's time for an Out and About with Jamie Grout podcast. I'm with my buddy Captain Tim North of the Salvation Army, and I always like to get caught up with you, Tim. Every now and then. It's been a few months since we've done a podcast because the Salvation Army has grown near and dear to my heart. I love all the works that you guys do. You're very supportive of so many people around Jasper County in the different ways that you do things. You always have me back to be an auctioneer for the big quilt auction that you've had. I think 3 years now that I've done this.
Or is it 4?
It might be 4 by now.
It might be 4 now.
Something like that. And I know that there's been a friendly competition between the Rotarians and the Kiwanians for the Red Kennel campaign, although I don't think we had that this year.
Not quite the rivalry, but, the Kiwanians won.
Yes, there was no pie in the face this year.
No.
However, I hear that the good news was that you reached your goal in the Red Kettle campaign.
We absolutely did. Newton, I've always seen, and this is the thing I love about being in Newton and Jasper County area, it seems like, and it's just me. I'm a numbers person, and those numbers don't always add up at the end. And I'm going, trying to look ahead,
Yeah.
but we beat it. We got it, and actually went over about $4,600.
Wow. Well, you have to be a numbers person in the position you're in. I mean,
absolutely.
It's all about fundraising because you have so many programs that you have to support.
Exactly.
And, I see your wife, Peggy, who belongs to, the Newton Rotary Club.
Yep, absolutely.
And I believe you are the president of the Kiwanians here in town. But she tells me, and I hear this from so many people, not just about the food pantry here, but also over in Poweshiek County, because I do podcasts for Grinnell and Poweshiek County with the people at MICA over there too. But the need for the food pantry remains to be very strong.
Oh, always is. We're seeing new people. We still see some of the old that are still, I shouldn't say old, but some of the same people that sometimes we do absolutely have struggles. But we're seeing more and more newer people coming. I know when we had this wonderful government shutdown that really put havoc and panic in a lot of people.
The SNAP program.
Yeah, the whole SNAP program when that shut down. But it still has continued. I don't think we backed off just a little bit, but not much. So it's continued growing because, have you bought a gallon of milk lately? I mean, have you bought, something? And it seems like we can buy stuff off the shelf. I know when I go buy, if you go buy a bag of chips, it's the same size, but not as many in it. You pay the same price.
Right.
That air is awful expensive, right?
Sure. Yeah, I hear you there.
So we're still seeing increased numbers.
Right. Now, tell us about the different food pantry programs. I hear something about a bread line and food box and yada, yada, yada. I don't really understand exactly how it works. So, Tim, if you could explain that to me, I'd appreciate that.
We have a bread line that is here in Jasper, or here in Newton on Fridays from 9:30 to about 11:30. There can be bread, and we call it bread line, probably not the best term for it, because there can be bread, there can be, usually it's bread, sweets, and that type of stuff that we, maybe get from the different food rescues that we use or that we pick up at. The other is there's sometimes, like just recently here, we had 7 pallets of lettuce and peas and green beans of fresh vegetables and stuff. So some of that is usually put in that also. And then watch our Facebook site, because if we have those things where we have those, times where we may get a semi drop by and drop us off 7 pallets of stuff, we'll put it out there. So absolutely watch that. But the bread line is there. We also, besides that, we pick up and rescue food from Hy-Vee, Fairway, Walmart. I'm probably missing several. My drivers could tell me right off all of them, but and what happens is we take some of the excess and share with the different food pantries throughout Jasper County. So we pick it up and we take it out there and deliver it to them at that location. Such Monroe, I think we've got one, Colfax, I want to think Baxter. So we take them out to those locations.
I see. Okay.
So those are the bread lines. And then pantry, we went to where we do prefer that you give us a call. And for those that, for the last couple months, we've been kind of tough because we've been down a staff member. We actually have that staff position filled. So we'll have somebody on the phone. So please, those that it was a frustration, please bear with us. We've got that fixed.
Be patient.
Yeah, we've got that fixed. We actually have somebody now in that position. But give us a call, set up an appointment. It'll be a lot easier in the long run. Because if you set up an appointment with us, they'll ask you they'll have a list of what we have. You can choose, so if you're not a green bean person, you can say, no, I don't want green beans, or I absolutely love them. We'll make sure. And then when you arrive, here's the nice thing. You arrive, let's say you set an appointment for 11 o'clock on a Wednesday. You get here 11 o'clock, you come in, say, hey, I'm here. And if there's some paperwork that you have to fill out, we have to fill it out once a year. That's required. But if you've already done that, it's pretty much show up. Hey, I'm here. Pick it up. You're gone. No waiting. So that's what makes it easier for the person coming in. But then the advantage is it helps us so that when we go through our food list and say, hey, they don't want green beans, we're not giving somebody green beans that is just going to go to going to be thrown out.
Right.
Or, we're using what's available to us.
Sure. Pretty much, I mean, when people come in and need food assistance, it's no questions asked situation.
Usually, no. Yeah, there's not any questions asked. We, like I said, we do have to have some paperwork filled out. That's because we have a partnership with the Food Bank of Iowa, and there's one form that we have to have filled out. Some of it we do have a system that we keep track of, and that's how we keep track.
Right. Now, when my sister passed, we got maid rights and had a bunch left over, and I brought them here. You guys were out of town, but your manager of your thrift store put them in the cooler.
Right.
And I asked Peggy about that, and I think she'd said, I don't want to misquote her, but I think she said they went to like a food box program or something like that. Also.
We have, and I keep forgetting we have all these little things here and there.
Yeah.
But we actually have out in our lobby here, there's a cooler that if somebody wants to come, usually there's something in there. So those maid rights would have been there. Somebody that needed something, could come in, grab it, leave. That one, there's absolutely just come in and get what's available. We have a partnership with Sacred Heart Church, and they make sandwiches every couple weeks. They put them in there. You can come and grab them. They'll have different things. So realistically, if you're hungry, stop by our lobby. We can get you set up. We've got a cooler there. We get stuff from like Maverick and I think Quick Star.
Sure.
And all those kind of prepped meals, we'll throw in there. So stop by, grab one of those if that's something you need right now. Let's say you need an appointment. You set an appointment. It's a couple of days. Still, if you swing by, you can get something to get you by until you get your food box.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. So come on by because the need is still great.
Right.
It really is. Why do you think the need is so great, Tim?
Well, I mean, you look in our economy has really been tough all the way around. And again, your dollar don't go as far as it used to.
Right.
If you had to buy medicine, what do you do? See, so a lot of it, food kind of the advantage is if we can help with food, that might relieve a person from a little bit of their burden. Now that they can get food, they don't have to spend it on the food. They can buy their medicine, or they can help pay their rent, or pay. And granted, it may smaller amounts, but it helps counter too. So.
Yeah, when you get to the point where, do I put food on the table, or do I pay for medicine, or do I pay for medical bills, or whatever the case might be? Which leads me into another question about assistance that you guys do. Yeah.
Well, we do all kinds, and a lot of it. Please remember, we have a budget that we have to go by, and I wish I had an unlimited number of checks I could just write out. Bank gets upset with me if I write a check and it's over the no.
You don't want to overdraft. That's for sure.
Exactly. But and a joke about that. But we help with rent, utilities. We do help with some prescriptions. We with that one we work with a pharmacy in town. If somebody needs it, we will work with them and see what we can do. There's also like clothing. If somebody needs clothing, let's see, we got this great thrift store right next door.
And we want to talk about that too.
Yeah, that we can actually send them to see and get stuff like that, clothing, those type things. That's kind of and the biggest thing is what I would always say is if you're in doubt, ask us. Our new case manager, she's working at getting a lot of networking, so she'll know exactly hey, I need this. Well, we don't do it, but this is the person who will. So we can, we're looking at that too.
It's like it's about networking.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
So let's talk about the thrift store.
Yep.
Boy, you probably have everything in there from A to Z, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and the funny part it is the thrift store. You get things that sometimes you wouldn't get anywhere else. We have some vintage things. We have some very much collectible. Always plenty of clothing. We believe it or not, there are even some shoes in there. I mean, realistically, I think in our thrift store you could almost get anything you could at any other retail store. Probably at a little bit cheaper prices. But the thing about our thrift store, it's kind of dual purpose. It's cheaper because, of course, it is used stuff. But our thrift store helps generate income so we can help with rent. We can help with utilities. So I know that's one thing sometimes, we do hear, you receive the stuff, people donate it, now you charge for it. There's a couple things you got to realize with that. One, I pay employees that have to sort that, have to do that type of things, have to pay utilities to keep the building up and going and everything that is with keeping a building going. But most all the money, that's all that we have to pay those overheads, and all that's left over is actually generated right back into helping people within Jasper County.
Now, when you make a donation either to the food pantry or to the thrift store, I know if you make a cash donation, it's tax deductible, but is it also tax deductible if you were to say, bring a bunch of food or bring a bunch of clothes?
Absolutely. You can get a tax receipt, and what will happen is then it's kind of between you and your tax person to figure out the value, especially on donated items such as clothing, those type things. But yeah, that is actually even tax deductible.
Let's say somebody, I'm going to just throw this out there. Let's say somebody wanted to donate land to the Salvation Army or something else to the Salvation Army. Is that possible?
That is possible. There are some legal things that we have to, because of course, when you're talking land and that type of things, there is some legal stuff that we have to look at. But usually it can be accepted, barring that it's an old oil field or something to that effect, where it has all these, all this
I'm from down south
stuff.
and I want to donate an oil well to the Salvation Army.
The bad thing of that is you got to look at that, and you got to look at all the waste in the land and what it takes, all those fun things.
I'm being silly now, but I mean, I've heard of people donating land to nonprofits before.
Oh yeah, and we can. That's not a problem. That would be what can happen, and it depends upon the land, depends upon what's available, etc. But yeah, that's not a problem. We can absolutely accept stuff like that.
Let's talk about disaster assistance too. Thankfully, at this time that we're recording, not big disaster assistance. In fact, on Monday in Iowa, we could see record high temperatures. I know they're going through cold temperatures way out on the east, and I hate to say this, I don't want to jinx it, but I'm afraid Mother Nature might not be quite done with us yet, Captain Tim.
It's Iowa. What do you expect?
You know what they say, if you don't like the weather in Iowa, wait 5 minutes, it'll change. But you guys are known for your disaster assistance, and let's talk about that a little bit, Tim.
Well, disaster assistance really, it depends upon the situation. In this area, we probably see more like tornadoes, floods, blizzards, those type things. And actually, house fires, larger fires. I've not had to do one of these in a long time. Police standoffs, if they go for hours and stuff, we're there to help and support, our law enforcement, because, they need hydration, they need stuff to keep going while that's all going. And, there's been some where I've actually been part of a manhunt where not so much a manhunt, but the person was lost and they went and did a grid search and missing person. So we do lots of different things. Again, most people know that more for the disasters, the tornadoes, the fires, the et cetera. have even been part of forest fires. Those are a whole new different thing than anything here
Sure.
that we're used to in Iowa. We've actually, and that kind of leads me into, that's one thing that's actually been added to my plate recently.
Yeah, you're kind of over a big area now, aren't you?
Yeah. My first response and my first responsibility is Jasper County. Absolutely, the first, and always will be. But I also oversee what they call the emotional and spiritual care in our disasters, and I work with all of the chaplains and stuff within our disaster service program within South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. And what we've done, and part of our disaster service, of course, we're going to get you fed. We're going to get you food, get you clothing, get you hopefully, shelter. And with that, it's not just us. We work with a large number of organizations to help make sure everybody gets everything. But we embed in most of our teams, and this is our goal, is that we have an emotional and spiritual care person. We're not going to beat you over the head and say, well, we're going to pray with you right now. No. We're going to be there. So if that's what you need, great. If you need, and if you notice I said emotional and spiritual, you need, you're going through stuff in the disasters. You just need to talk to somebody. There's going to be somebody on one of our teams to do that. So that's our goal with that part of it. So disasters, it's such a whirlwind thing. It happens, and it happens fast. We have right now, there is what we call our canteens, which is almost like a mobile kitchen. Closest one's Des Moines, so it's really not that far away. We're working on getting some stuff established here, getting a local team, so if something happens, we can respond first out of here before we have to bring in some of the other stuff.
Sure.
And that, the worst part about that is finding volunteers, because disasters, you may have one and you may not have another one for 5 years.
Sure.
So it's kind of hard because somebody's like, well, I'm all trained, but
Yeah. Nothing's going on.
Which, it's great. I'd rather have you trained and nothing happen than nobody trained and a bunch happening.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the history of the Salvation Army.
Okay.
Didn't it start over in England?
1865 in East End of London. William and Catherine Booth are the founders. William Booth was a Methodist pastor. So we come out of the Methodist Church.
Yes.
And he saw people in need in the East End of London, that nothing was being done for them. But then it was also back in the time when he had pew taxes to get into church. You had to pay, so you had to pay to get to church, and he saw that need that, people need church who can't afford it. So that's kind of where he kind of really went, and he started dealing with the alcoholics and drug addicts and prostitutes and all this stuff. And really, Booth was way ahead of his time. Believe it or not, we actually started a match factory in England.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because what he found out is at that point, the phosphorus that they were using created what it was called like a phossy jaw. Actually, the jaw would glow because of the phosphorus which created issues with the bones and that type of thing. And he saw that was a huge need, and saw that, this was, none of the matchmakers were wanting to change from this, and because the other way of making this phosphor, making matches, was cheaper. So Booth actually built a factory and made them with a safer phosphorus, so this phossy jaw would go away, and paid a good wage. And matter of fact, one of the companies after Booth had did it bought that out from the Salvation Army after we had our model set, and he saw that it could work. So Booth was way ahead of his time in some of that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been around a couple days. We actually in Newton, we're talking 1880s.
Oh, okay.
That we came to Newton.
That long ago.
Yeah. The probably two of the biggest, where we are now, of course, and then there was one building that was built actually 1920s, 1925. Actually, just about 3 blocks down from where we are. Maybe more than that. It was on.
Well, I remember as a kid, okay, and I don't. We're digressing a little bit.
Okay,
Here.
yeah.
Hold on. We'll put a bookmark where you're at. As a kid, my dad's real estate and insurance office was where the Walker law office is on 2nd Avenue, just down the street.
Right.
The Citadel, which is what they called the office for the Salvation Army, was across the street. Where the Best Western is now, used to be a lumberyard. Big memory as a kid. I heard there used to be a lumberyard there. Big lumberyard, okay? As a kid, I was over by Maytag Park on my bike, and I heard big fire in downtown Newton at the lumberyard. Rode my bike down there, huge blaze. They had fire trucks from everywhere, all over the place. The parking lot over by what used to be my dad's real estate and insurance office, that's now, the Salvation Army Citadel had set up for the firefighters and all the people fighting that blaze. Now, it was right across the street from where the Citadel was. It was a convenient location for them, but they were Johnny on the spot. So that's a big memory for me. So go ahead.
And exactly, that building was like 1925. Actually, if it's not it's my understanding, the Fred Maytag built that for the Salvation Army.
And in another a life, it was a church again another time. It also was a bar for a time, sports bar for a time. So, hey, let's live it up. Well, there were spirits living there of 2 different kinds.
And the unique part of it is you talk about that. And that was one thing that William Booth did for a while. He did not have a physical church, and he would meet in places. He would meet in bars on Sunday mornings.
Oh, is that right?
Because they had to be closed.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's kind of ironic how that kind of comes around. But, it's... So here, we've been here a couple days.
Yeah, it's neat. It has a great history. Well, hey, we usually go, you and I can talk forever.
Probably.
The thing I like about you, Tim, you're good for a podcast because we both have the gift of gab.
Well, it must be that radio thing.
And we do. We both have a history of being in radio, and I love talking to you, Tim. And whenever I get home from talking with you, it's always way later than I expect to talk. And Little Red says, "Where have you been?" And I said, "I've been talking to Captain Tim," because we know some of the same people, and we both have a history in the media, and you are perfect for this job that you're in right now. And I mean this absolutely from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for all that you and Peggy do for the people around here. You've touched so many lives, and
thank you.
If there were no Tim and Peggy North around here, I don't know what we would do without you.
There'd be somebody else.
Well, there probably will, and I'm sure there's going to be a day, and I'm going to hate it, where the Army's going to ask you guys to move on because you've had to move on from town to town.
Right.
But I'm not looking forward to that day at all because you've been such a blessing to the community. So thank you for all you do.
Well,
if people want to help out with the food pantry, with the thrift store, or any of the other things that you have going on, because I know you're always looking for support, both financially with the food pantry, with clothes or whatever, how can they go about doing that, Tim?
Well, clothes, drop them off at our, anything with the thrift store if you want to donate. Right off of 2nd Avenue here, there's the big bay door. Just drop it off there. Please, between 9 and 4. We ask that because anything after 4, or in the big problem of it, if it gets left out overnight, it doesn't always get in to get it, processed, because there's mornings that will come and it actually will be a mess and people have gone through it.
Sure.
Or elements get to it. If you leave it out, rain can get to it, and it's just devalued what you've given us. And we want to use it to the best of our ability and what you meant it for if you donate it. So please, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 4, please.
Okay.
Otherwise, donations always, we can accept them at our office. You can mail them, 301 North 2nd Avenue East here in Newton. The 50208. Yeah,
50208.
Yeah. So absolutely, we can take them that way. And if you wanted to go to a specific program, please ear tag that and let us know.
Like food pantry,
if
thrift
you wanted to
store,
go to
or
food
whatever.
pantry, or if you wanted to go to utility assistance or whatever, please let us know. We will ear tag that when that donation goes in, and we'll make sure it gets used in that area.
I mean, you could go to Hy-Vee or Walmart
Right.
or Fairway and get a gift card and bring it over,
Yep.
something like that too.
And that works out great because those are the times that we may be down on something, we can run out and grab it, that's specific.
You bet.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Tim, thank you very much for this conversation. We're going to do a video too, which will be a lot shorter than this if you don't have time to listen to the whole thing. But thanks again for all you guys do and support the Salvation Army. That's going to wrap it up for this edition of Out and About with Jamie Grout's podcast. Again, we're going to do a video. You can find that on outandaboutwithjamiegrout.com. You can also find it on the YouTube channel. Other fine sponsors include Lynette Baker, Halo Branded Solutions, Westside Java Coffee Bar, and the Made Right Sandwich Shop in downtown Newton. Until next time, Grout is out. See ya!